Good morning, beautiful people. It's another beautiful Thursday. I hope your week has been going amazing. I hope it's been going great. I hope it's been going well. Today, I want you to understand that running a small business actually means you are juggling 1,000 priorities. And a lot of times, cyber risks are not the at the top of our priority list. A lot of small business owners, we always feel that cyber risks are distant. So until the day they actually stop your operations, we don't make them a priority. And I've come to understand that the reason why this happens is because sometimes it can feel overwhelming, especially when you don't understand or you are lost in what is called tech jargons. That's one of the reasons why I need us to actually work on this session. That's one of the reasons I need us to discuss this session because it's actually a very, very important one. Risk management, how to create a risk management plan as a small or medium sized business. Now, I want us to look at it or start this way. If you decide to take a road trip, for example, let's assume that you want to take a road trip. You're going on a road trip. You don't just jump into the car and start moving. No, that's not the way it works. You are going to probably make a plan. You are going to look at your destination, probably search for how many hours or how many miles it is on your GPS. So people will actually do like a map, try to map out their routes. At the same time, some people will actually check the weather. But most importantly, if it was someone like me, I think the first thing I would check would be the car. Make sure that I take the car for servicing, ensure that the car is going to serve me, ensure the car has like a spare tire, make sure everything is working properly, and most importantly, plan for emergencies. Maybe plan for food, plan for rest sessions. At the same time, probably pack an emergency kit. That way, you understand that you are thinking ahead. And that exactly is what a risk management plan is because you are thinking about what can go wrong. It's not because you know that this is going to go wrong. No, it's because you are planning for some things that some a lot of times it may be inevitable. I'm going to use that word inevitable. Getting lost or losing your way or missing your route, a flat tire, or not getting a place to rest, or maybe there is a change in weather, maybe it's snowing or rain, or some a lot of times it can be even foggy and you probably have to move very slowly. Those are some of the things that you need to plan for when you are taking a road trip. You are not only mapping out your plan, you are also creating what is called a trip plan. It's kind of like a risk management plan as well because you are trying to plan for the inevitable. You are trying to plan for what you do not anticipate. You are trying to plan for those things that you have not initially thought about, or those things that you cannot avoid. I'm going to use the word avoid. That exactly is what a risk management plan is. A lot of times, you just have to plan a risk management, you have to put a risk management plan in place because it helps you to prepare in case there are bumps and there are surprises ahead. Irrespective of how those bumps and those surprises are coming, your goal is to keep moving. Your goal is to keep thriving. Your goal is to ensure that even when there are bumps on the way, they don't cause blockages. They don't make you to stop instantly. They don't stop you from reaching your destination. And that exactly is what a risk management plan is. I want you to understand that there are five major reasons why, as a small business, I'm going to use the word a small business right now because most of the people that are watching me right now are actually small businesses. But irrespective of whether you're a small business or a medium sized business, you might even be a large enterprise. There are five major reasons why it is important for you to actually have a risk management plan. Number one, you need to understand that if you don't have a plan, it is easier to overlook the gaps. It is easier for you to start focusing only on the immediate threats. And when you focus on the immediate threats, it causes a problem because you are not planning for the future. You are not planning ahead. You are not planning for what may come your way. And most importantly, one of the reasons why it is important to also have a roadmap is, and have a risk management plan, is the fact that a lot of times for a lot of people, it serves as a roadmap because it guides you on the steps that you are going to take to ensure that you are making the right decisions. That's one of the reasons I love the risk management plan because, like I said, it's going to help you ensure that you are making the right decisions. Then, number two, the reason the risk management plan is very important to your business is that it helps you to identify what is most important for you to protect. As a small business, I just explained that you are juggling a million and one things. Based off of that, there are some things that you don't consider a priority. There are some assets that you necessarily may not believe are a priority for you. But if you have a risk management plan is in place, it is easier for you to be able to identify this should be actually top of my list. This can actually come in next. This can come in next. Like, I think we would call it an opportunity cost. It's a kind of priority list. The goal is for you to understand how you can prioritize not only your needs, but how critical and how important the assets that you have in your business, in this case, the digital assets, are to the functioning of your business. And that will also help you know what is important for you to protect. Now, number three, it helps you to uncover the risk, all the form of risk that may likely affect your business. Like I said initially, one of the most important reasons why you need to make a risk management plan is that a lot of people only focus on the immediate threats. What problems do we have right now? But if you have a risk management plan in place, it allows you to be able to uncover those risks that may happen later in the business, not right now. And that way, you will not only be able to plan for them, you will also know what to do. And the sincere truth is that when you know what to do, it actually saves you time, it saves you effort, it saves you money because you can make instant decisions. Then, number four, as a small business, it helps you to decide on how you can spend your limited resources to ensure that you experience maximum impact. For you to be able to get maximum impact, one of the biggest and challenges that I have discovered that a lot of small and medium businesses have, a lot of time the small ones, is the fact that they see cybersecurity as something that is not a priority because of the cost implications. But the truth is, if you have a priority list for what and what you are supposed to be doing, you know what to focus on and what to spend your resources on to be able to get the maximum impact. Now, the fifth and most important, it allows you to be able to respond quickly, it allows you to make fast decisions, it allows you make to be calm in case anything goes wrong. In the cybersecurity terms, we never say in case, we always say when, because the belief is that it's inevitable. So your choices, the choices that you make when something goes wrong, can only be planned ahead. So, like my father always tells us, he tells us that if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. So a lot of times, because you have failed to plan or create a risk management plan, it can actually cause a problem, a big, I'm going to use the word, a very big problem that can allow the business to fold up if you don't make the right decisions. Wow. I know this is a topic. I'm going to use the word a topic that a lot of people always find intimidating. It's a lot of topic that a lot of small business owners think it's unachievable. And that is because they believe they don't have a technical background or because they don't have a big budget. So this is one of the most important reasons why I thought it was very, very important for us to actually do this session, because my goal for this session is to empower you as a small business owner or as a leader to be able to confidently protect your business by making thoughtful, everyday choices about cybersecurity within your organization. Now, the truth is, I don't want you to be intimidated. Don't worry. Don't be intimidated. Forget the technicalities. Those are not important. All I need you to do is receive the guidance you are going to be getting today so that it works for you. I can promise you for this session, it's going to be doable, it's going to be achievable, it's actually tailored to ensure that you are receiving maximum impact. Now, there are three things, three factors I actually want you to put into consideration if you want the risk management plan to work for you, especially if you're not going to be worried about the technicalities, if you're not a technical person, or if you're the kind of person that you don't enjoy technical aspects. There are three things I need you to focus on so that this works for you. Number one, it's not about being perfect. No, I don't need it to be perfect. I don't need you to think about it being perfect. I don't need you to cover everything at the same time. No, you can do it in steps. You can do it in tranches, because just one step at a time will make a very huge difference in your organization's security posture. Number two, I need you to involve your staff members. One of the biggest challenges I have discovered with a lot of business owners is the fact that we tend to make a lot of solo decisions without consulting with our staff members. I need you to not only involve them and ask for their ideas, especially those of them that are in the front line, those that are working directly with your clients, with your customers. They are the ones that are able to spot the risks that you may miss, because they are the ones that are not only dealing with the people, they are also dealing directly with the targets and the assets. Then number three, everything I have going to explain to you today, I will advise that you either make it into what is called a checklist or start a spreadsheet. Now, the reason I'm asking that you do this is because I don't want you to start thinking about it as a massive document. No, I need you to be able to work smarter and not just harder. By working smarter, you can make very good decisions about the future of your business. Now, let's go into the step-by-step plan of how you can actually make a risk management plan. Now, I want you to understand that for you to make a successful risk management plan, you are still going to need a cybersecurity professional. But I'm helping you to start it off before you bring in a cybersecurity professional or someone to help guide your organization to the highest heights. The first thing I want you to do is that you need to identify what needs to be protected. We already talked about this when we were talking about understanding your risk exposure. It's very important that you identify what needs to be protected. Start very simple. Write out the most important assets within your organization. And I need you to look at it with regards to the software, look at it with regards to the hardware, look at it with regards to not just the devices, but also the data, customer information, the payment systems, all the network devices, as well as any form of device that you are currently using, all the business files, as well as all the services that is keeping your business running. Put them on a list. We use Microsoft Office. How important is it to your day-to-day activities? Put like a 1. That will help you to know the risk factors. We have a payment a cash register, or we have a POS machine, how important is it to your day-to-day activities? You can put a 1 or a 2, because that is the only way you can collect money, or except if you are collecting money using a payment merchant online. You know, just grade everything that you're currently using. And like I said, it's very important that you involve your staff members, because they are the ones not only using the systems, they are also the ones that are directly meeting with the clients, so they know the needs. Then number two, I need you to be able to spot and identify the risk. What this means is that I need you to think about what could go wrong. What can go wrong if there's a data theft? What can go wrong if a device is stolen? What can go wrong if you're attacked by ransomware? What can go wrong if there is what is called an account takeover? What can go wrong if you mistakenly delete something? What can go wrong if one of your staff members lose a device, a laptop, a mobile phone? What could possibly go wrong? What kind of information are in those systems? What can go wrong? Is it that you will not have access to be able to use that particular tool for that day, and it's going to stop some business operations? What is most likely to happen? I need you to ask yourself two questions. What can go wrong? That's the first thing. Then ask yourself, what could go wrong if this I need you to ask yourself, what could go wrong if this asset is taken away? Then number two, what will happen to us if we are unable to get access to this particular asset? By understanding that, you'll be able to identify the risk involved and be able to put like a grade. Like I explained when we were talking about understanding your risk exposure, I will advise that you put a grade. When I say a grade, you can put a 1. Oh, this is actually a priority 1. This does not affect us in any way. It can be a 0. This is going to be like top of the line problems, 100%. Just put a grade so that you know where you're coming from. You understand where the priority is. Is it going to be a very high risk? Is it going to be something that is moderate or medium? Is it going to be something that even if anything happens, you guys don't really have a problem? Identify the risk and be able to spot it. Then number three, I already explained this when we were talking about understanding your risk exposure. If you were not a part of that video, or you have not seen it, I will advise, please go back and watch that video so you have a good understanding of how to apply the principles that we explained there in making your risk management plan. Then number three, I need you to be able to rate the impact as well as the likelihood. Rate the impact as well as the likelihood. For you to be able to rate the impact, you need to ask, how bad will this hurt us? That's your first question. Number two, ask yourself, how likely is this going to happen given what we know currently? Number one, how badly will this hurt us with the way that we work currently? Number two, with the information that we currently have at hand right now, what is likely to happen? Put ones by the one that you believe actually has a very high likelihood something can go wrong and will impact you very greatly. Just put a 1 by it. If it's not going to affect you there's going to be maybe a high likelihood, but the impact will not be so great, you can put a 2. If the impact is not going to be great and the likelihood is not great, you can put a 3. That way, you know that number one is what you need to focus on greatly when you are allocating your resources for maximum impact. When you are going to be allocating your resources, you know that you need to make those that are on the number one list a priority. That is how we measure. Then the fourth thing I want you to do is prioritize your actions. Put a grade. Number one, I need to do this. Number two, we need to do this. You need to focus first on the high impact, high likelihood risk. Like I said, those ones that are number one is high impact, is high likelihood. You need to focus on them greatly. Not just focusing on them. You need to look at how badly it's going to affect your organization and see how you can ensure that nothing goes wrong. At the same time, when you look at simple fixes, like maybe enabling NFA and backing up your files, and you think it can actually drastically lower the risk of that happening, You put that into action immediately. Any fixes that you think is going to, I'm going to use the word mitigate. Mitigate means reduce or lower the risk of that happening. Not remediate at this time because you're not fixing the problem. I just need you to be able to lower the risk. Take those small steps immediately. Those small fixes, those small things that you think you can do instantly, immediately. For those of you that are using social media, if your social media account is where you're actually using as your business tool or your marketing tool right now, it's very important that it's on a one, because it's a high likelihood, it's a high priority. So if you're going to put MFA on it, at the same time, if you're going to probably change the devices on which you are using it, if you're going to limit the number of devices on which you are using it, anything you have to do just to ensure that nothing goes wrong, you need to make it a one and fix it immediately. Then I want you to focus on the risk that could cause real harm. Those risks that you think can cause bad things to happen to your organizations, those things that cannot be avoided, those problems that if it happens, you cannot move back, you cannot go back. You need to fix those immediately. One of the biggest lessons I have learned, especially when it comes to small businesses, is the fact that two small fixes actually changes everything. I'm going to give you that code. It's a secret. Two small fixes usually changes everything. Number one, setting up MFA on all your accounts. And number two, creating a successful backup. When I say creating a successful backup, what this means is that I don't just want you to back up. I need you to make sure that you test it to make sure that backup is actually working well and you can use it. You have access to it in case of an emergency or in case something goes wrong. That is what is called a successful backup. Then number 5, don't just keep everything that you have done to yourself. No. What is most important is that I want you to write down all these risks that you have observed, address them. Then you need to share it with anyone who has a role affecting that particular asset within your business. What do I mean? If you have a social media manager in your organization, it's very important that the risk that is affecting the social media accounts, they know about it. Number, it's very important because, like I said, we like keeping a lot of things to ourselves. If for those of you that are actually using a virtual assistant, it's also important that you ensure that they are privy to some things. Don't forget that you need to put them on an NDA first, especially if they are not your full-time staff members. Every staff member should go through a background check and get them to sign an NDA so that even when they are privy to what is going on in your business, they are unable to reveal it when, I won't say when, they are unable to reveal it to others. All right? The goal of ensuring that you give everyone this information within your organization is to make sure that everybody is on the same page. Every one of you needs to be on the same page. I want you to write down the risk and how you are going to address them. I need you to share that with staff members that are involved. Now, like I said, staff members that are involved, duties need to be separated. Everybody does not have to be doing the same thing, and they don't have to be privy to all the information about everything that you are possibly doing. It's called segregation of duties because it's also a control that is used to ensure that your business is safe from what is called collusion or maybe something stolen anyway, especially in form of data. So, and the truth is that by getting access to some of this information, everyone understands their role in keeping the business safe. That's one of the reasons I'm asking that you share that information with your staff members. I know some people are skeptical when it comes to their staff members and they don't want to share information. But the truth of the matter is, if I know what can go wrong and I see that as my tool of working and getting my job done and ensuring that I make my living, believe me, I'm not only going to guide it with my life, I'm going to ensure that nothing goes wrong. At the same time, it's going to make sure that everyone in your organization is actually on the same page. Now, the last thing I want you to do is not just creating the risk management plan. No, you need to understand that priorities change, focuses change, and as the business is growing, some things will also be evolving. So it is important that you keep reviewing the plans that you have made on a consistent basis. Possibly, you can put a calendar reminder to ensure that you are checking this plan every month, every few months. I won't say every month. Probably some people do it every quarter, some people do it every 4 months. But most importantly, if you're going to be offering new services, if you're going to be changing software, if you're going to be hiring new people, it is very, very important that you keep doing a review of your risk management plan. And then I want you to put it on your calendar to ensure that you're not missing anything. In such a situation, we call it a cadence. You create what is called a sequence for how many times you want to keep reviewing the risk management plan in a year. So you can decide, oh, well, we want to do it 3 times a year, we want to do it 4 times a year, we want to do it 2 times a year. Create a cadence and ensure that you do not miss it. Because you have to understand that by starting small, you take one step at a time, that will help you to make what is called real progress. I want you to ask your team for input. Like I said initially, your team members are very, very important. You need to keep asking them for input because they will always spot the risk that you miss. Another thing I want you to understand is that as a founder, as a business owner, a lot of times we have emotional attachments to our businesses. And based off of the emotional attachments, you don't see a lot of things that are going wrong. So because you're not seeing a lot of things that are going wrong, your staff members are usually attached to the salaries they are earning. Believe me, a lot of times they are attached not necessarily to the money they are making from your business, but their emotional attachment may not be as great as yours or as big as yours. And remember that they are the ones that are working directly with the clients, they are the ones that are working directly with the customers, they are the ones that are directly working with these assets, they are the ones that are relating with the vendors, they are the ones that are relating with the partners. Even if you are still doing some little form of relating with them, based off of this, they're going to have a lot of information that you do not have. So I want you to take this plan that we have talked about, these 6 steps, take the step a day at a time. Turn it into a checklist so that it does not get complicated. Just turn it into a checklist and do it one after another. Do it step by step. That way you don't get overwhelmed and you can get the best results. Wow. I've gotten some questions. I've put together 2 questions that I always get. They are usually frequently asked questions when we relate with clients. So I decided to put them together so that I can answer them for you for this session. If you have other questions, please, like I said initially, I'm ready to answer your questions. Please send in your questions because that way every other person can learn from what we have learned so far. Now, the first question is that if I don't have a technical background, how do I actually know the risk that my business is facing? Yes, like I said initially, you don't have to be a technical expert in order to get started with risk management. Everything I have just told you is just the starting point. You still need to bring in a cybersecurity or a cybersecurity risk management professional to help you. But you need to understand that if you're able to list out your most essential business assets, your customer data, your financial records, the devices that you use, your business files, every form of software that is critical to your business. And then start to ask yourself, what could go wrong? What can happen if we lose this? What can happen if this information gets lost? What can happen if this device is stolen? What can happen if this information is locked down? How harmful is this situation going to, if it happens, how harmful will it affect our business? How harmful is this situation? What kind of impact will it have on our business if it happens? If you're able to ask yourself all that, or even if you're unsure, you start involving your team. You need to understand that you are going to be able to turn a lot of things around because you can put steps in place to ensure that a lot of things do not go wrong. Like I said initially, you are able to identify the first steps, and by identifying, that is the most important. If you are able to identify what matters to you, you can put a basic plan, simple steps in place to be able to ensure that nothing goes wrong. That will not only empower you to be able to protect your business, that will also ensure that you guys are not overwhelmed by any tech jargons. That will ensure that your business is running smoothly and there are no impediments, there is no blockage, there are no obstacles that stops you or stops your impact. Then the second question I have actually put together is that, let's imagine that a business gets hit by ransomware and all the systems go offline for 3 days. What are the current gaps in the security practices that could make recovery slow, costly, or even impossible? Wow. Like I said when I was speaking about backups, two important factors I need you to focus on is setting MFA everywhere and ensuring that you have a successful backup. If you have what is called frequent successful backups and you test your recovery procedures, you have clear communication plans. What that means is that when something goes wrong, who are we calling first? What are we going to say? What are we going to do? What happens? There is a communication plan. You don't start running around when everything goes wrong. All right? If you're able to put those three things together, ensuring that you have a good successful backup that is frequently, then ensuring that your recovery procedures, you test them frequently, at the same time you have a very good and clear communication plan, you are not going to be vulnerable to a downtime. You're not going to be vulnerable to that. I would say you're not going to be vulnerable to a downtime. You're not going to be vulnerable to an extended downtime, because even if there is a downtime, it's something that you can rectify immediately. You will not be affected by revenue loss, and most importantly, you will not lose the trust of your customers, because what the risk management plan is helping you to do is to help you anticipate these plans and these gaps so that you can build action steps to close them before a real world crisis comes into play. Wow. Every business owner actually deserves the peace of mind that comes from knowing that their business is fully protected. And that's one of the things I'm hoping that you can get today from creating a risk management plan. I don't want you to make up a strategy. I want you to create a good, from what I have just told you right now, from what you have just learned right now, build a risk management plan. It's not about perfection, believe me. It does not have to be great. It does not have to be perfect. Just take it one step at a time, because it's about protecting your future, it's about protecting your mission, and it's ensuring that even when the road gets bumpy, you keep moving ahead. So, my call for you today is to ensure that you take 5 minutes, just take 5 minutes today, list out your top assets and the risk that you think can affect each one of them. Then start having a conversation with your team members. Where do you think this can go wrong? What do you think we should do? What are the small steps that you think we should take? That will help you to build not only your confidence, but also your protection, because you are planning for the journey ahead. Don't forget to tune in on Tuesday. Before then, endeavor to send in your questions. I want you to know that it's not just about checking the boxes. No, it's not just about getting everything right. No, that's not what we are talking about. It's about building your peace of mind and, most importantly, protecting what matters to you most. Until I see you on Tuesday, have a beautiful, amazing weekend. Keep your business safe, keep your business secure.